Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and a good day to you. My name is Gyor-Per CPT. We're going to be flying today from slightly north of Belgrade. We've had a slight hiccup in the plan. Surprise, surprise, X-Plane 12 does not have the Novi airport that we intended to fly from modelled. So I guess we'll make do with this one instead, which is absolutely fine. But the more I explore X-Plane's world, the more I realise the map and the airports are incomplete, the more I realise that a lot of things are missing. Anyway, it's one of those airports that hasn't been programmed in. It is in fact the main airport in Novi Sad, so I was a little bit surprised they would miss it out, to be honest. It's, as I say, it's the main airport in Novi Sad, so yeah, they should really have it in there, guys. So we're going to go from here. I want to make sure today's flight goes smoothly. Last time I completely forgot I had rudder pedals, and I just assumed I'd landed with them before in the Beechcraft, but of course I ended up drifting because I wasn't used to them in the aircraft. So hopefully today we're going to be a little bit easier on the controls. It's the foot control, so with the rudder you don't really need much input. You only need a small amount of input to achieve a great amount of movement. So yeah, we're running a bit of an alternative, just slightly north. Here we are. There's the main airport for the city. We're just slightly here in the place called Novi Vodka, LYBV. Now, interestingly enough, this won't even appear on the METAR. So when it comes to METAR weather info, LYBV apparently doesn't exist, but LYNS, which was the original airport we're going to go from, does exist. So so again, strange things going on in the game. There's one there called Bata. Well, yeah, the airport we wanted was probably slightly up here, I think, but as you can see, there's nothing there. The closest we have is this. Anyway, we're going to be going across from Serbia up to Hungary, and the airport here is actually a little bit more well done than I thought. We've got a few hangars, we've got planes in the hangars, we're here. And interestingly enough, we have a grass runway ahead. Now, the Baron is a little bit temperamental, so on the grass runway, we're going to have to be extra precautious. We will be using flaps on this departure, I can tell you right now. We're going to be using flaps because I'm not going to risk crashing this thing. Right, guys, let's get in. So, we want to make sure everything is off. Why am I missing one of my propellers? Give me a sec, guys. For some reason, I've only got one of my manifolds on the Honeycomb system. I do recommend the Honeycomb as well. I recommend the setup I've got. It's pretty damn good for both GA flying and commercial flying. It's really, really nice to have it. So we're going to make sure these are fully back. I don't think you can pull them fully back on there unless you do it with your mouse, but there's no need to do it with the mouse. Right, everything except for these alternators again is switched off. I always find that amazing. And my gear lever is down, the brake is not set, so let's go ahead and set that now. We haven't got any chocks on today. And also last night I figured out a way around being able to put chocks on other vehicles. So rather than doing Shift and G, we can request them on this because it's small enough. But something like the Citation X, you can't request them and you have to assign a key. So there's a little bit of a workaround there, guys. Anyway, we're going to get the batteries and alternators on. We're going to check our fuel and things. I'm going to stick our beacon and our navigation lights on at this time. And the panel floodlights, prop sync as well. Okay, let's get our flight plan loaded. I don't expect any traffic today. i.e. ATC. I don't even think I've filed my ATC plan, so give me a sec, guys. I tried to use some new software to do my flight plan, but it turns out that that one can't find the airport either. So either the airport is shut down and no longer in use, or I don't know, something else has happened anyway. But yeah, it's looking kind of busy in the air network, not in our region, thankfully. And I think we're going to go as our tail number today, so November 45 X-Ray Sierra. I'm going to make sure we get there like usual safely. We usually do in this channel. We rarely crash, but when we do, it's nice and fun, isn't it? It's nice to have a crash once in a while. Right, LYBV, let's hope that yes, they can't even find it on SimBrief. That's very interesting. I think we're going to have some issues here with this flight planning stuff. We may have to do it from the one they originally intended and just tell them we're at a different airport if there's anybody available. So strange, it's just so strange that they, yeah, north of Novi Sad. Novi Sad isn't even marked on here, which is, again, sad. I feel sorry for them. I mean, it is a big, big place. It's like up here, it's one of the better places in Serbia. Anyway, before we forget, let's get the flight plan. I think I've got a few tuned in here somewhere. How do I do this? Oh, it's this side, isn't it? GPS. Blimey. Look at me, guys. I've forgotten how to use the 530. One of our favourites, by the way. I actually really prefer this over this G1000. I'm really glad Laminar went for this one. Of course, the Cessna comes with the G1000, but I don't use that. Right. LYNS, our original airport, which is a no-go today. We're still going to go from there. I'm just going to adjust the route as needed. That loaded it in. Enter flight plan saved. Could not understand or save this flight plan file. I suspect that's because the Laminar airport is not in the game. That's a little bit of a pain. So what we're going to do is just get up the chart. Instead, I'll just do it this way and we'll type in the airport we're at. Explain 12. Output. Serbia, Hungary. Right, brilliant. I'm going to get the payload sorted first. I think we're fully loaded 5 packs today. That's 5 packs plus 1 pilot, of course. 185 on the block fuel. It's a shame we can't get any fuel animations. I know you can get ground equipment add-ons, but I really don't want to pay for them. I think they should be in the base game. But I'm sure X-Plane is capable of doing it. I'm sure Laminar will bring that out in the future. They already have pretty good ground services at the moment. They just need to implement some animations, I think, and then they'll be where they need to be. Anyway, so we need 174, 185. Let's take 193. As you can see, 5 packs, bags about 80. So what I'm going to do is going to do full on in the cargo 463, and then about 20 in the back. About there, that's fine. So 477 on the payload. Pilot, so we're not actually got 2 pilots, just 1 pilot and 5 packs. Let's just reduce that weight a little bit. Everyone's looking a little bit overweight. So, maybe about 140. Is that good? Still giving us 508 on the weight. It's still pretty high. Anyway, take off weight 2449. If we do enter 477 on there, guys, it's going to give us the wrong. We can't type it in. It's also going to give us the wrong. That's all right. I guess that'll do. That's absolutely fine. That's pretty much spot on as well. Right. Anyway, back to the flight plan. So we got our weight and balance sorted. It's a pretty easy thing. Could check our center of gravity as well if we need to. Yeah, so down here, so we know we're going to be in the clear. I think we're below our maximum takeoff weight. Back to the flight plan, we're going to change the original departure, we'll just do it from the airport we're at, which is LYBV. Let's hope it could be found on here. So LYBV is unlikely to be any departures, but we'll try it anyway. Direct to Tondo, so let's do the plan as filed. Tango Oscar. Tondo. Not Italy, is it? Limey, what have we done there? Oh no. You know things aren't going well when we have to do it manually, guys. We got a bad start here. Nah, I'm joking. Everything is going fine. The fight will be well. This is just a warm-up for me. Right, it's coming up. It's coming up with Italy for some reason. I don't know what's going on with these waypoints. I know we got an A on the end there, but still. It can't be that far away, the actual waypoint. Come on, Tondo, Serbia, thank goodness. And then direct to LHPR. This will be a recognised airport, it's pretty big. You'd hope so, at least. They got 2 there, they got Papa, Parduk, or we want the PR at the end. Gyor-Per. I've never been here. I've never, never been there in the simulator either. But I think it'll be a little airport. Now I think about it. Anyway, let's get on with the checklist. Let's get avionics back off. That's pretty much ready to go there. We want to get the props fully forward. Make sure we bring some fuel into the system. I'm going to leave the yokes on for you guys. I'm so glad the update included changing these times to GMT time. It's made it so much easier. So a big thank you to Laminar Research for being able to improve these, and also the ability to now basically park wherever you want at whatever airport you want. There's no need to go and click on usable spaces suitable for the aircraft. You can literally park where you want now. So Laminar, a big shout out to them for changing that. So people can play as silly as they want to, which is, I think, is a lot better. Right, so we need to get the engine started, don't we? Let's get back in our seats. Mixture's rich, props fully forward, fuel pumps on. Let's do it manually, one at a time. It'd help if the fuel flow was on. Blimey, keep getting distracted. Right, there we go, we got peak fuel flow, so we turn the fuel pump off. Bring that down, crank it a quarter. Smooth start on engine 1 or engine 2. The aircraft is rolling away for some reason. We have got parking brake set. Right, so we did actually need to use our pedal brakes and pull the parking brake that time. I wonder if... Let's see if it actually does work, because I've been having some hiccups there. Yeah, let's see if it'll work. Anyway, so we go for the second one. Let's put that full forward. Fuel boost on. We are going to need flaps, as I say, so we'll keep it easy to go. By the way, I noticed the Beechcraft Baron is kind of doing popular on the channel, but it's fell off again. I don't know why people don't like the aircraft more. I don't know if it's the streams or what it is, but if you do have any queries and you don't like something, let me know. Like the sound, I'm always happy to change it. I'll turn the sound down for you so you can hear me a little bit more. I have been having some trouble with the microphone as well. It says it's fine on the streaming software, but it's saying it's a little bit on the low end despite giving it a decibel boost. Anyway, yeah, so this time we did have to do the parking brake with the pedal brake, so that tells me that there's a bit of inconsistency there. We did do it last time, and it should in fact be applied when we put the pedal brakes on, but last time it didn't work. Anyway, some really good streams out there. I want to mention them again. I'm not going to mention by name, it'd be unfair to do so, otherwise then we have to mention all of them. So engines have collided, let's get the avionics on. But yeah, last night watching some good stream, a good stream or two, like other people who stream these things. I think they do a great job, guys. So the aviation simulation community on YouTube, really interesting to just see how much variety there is. Right, I'm getting a bit mixed up with the flight plan stuff. We need to get the flight plan filed, and we need to get it filed now before we go. So we're expecting to depart. We're actually over our departure time. That's fine. Our flight plan is completely wrong for some reason, unless these are the codes for it. That is absolutely bizarre, isn't it? Blimey. LYBV to LHPR. I think that's right, and then I think it's Budapest International Firenze Airport is the one we need to go for. I think it's LHBP, isn't it, or something like that. Cruising altitude, what do we want to do? IFR, let's go perhaps, I don't want 4,000 feet, we'll go for 9,000 feet. We have a proper altitude. Light, 7,000 kg, what is our weight and balance? You can easily get the gravity off here, so 16.5. You can calculate trim from that if you really want to. Overall weight. That's one thing actually, it doesn't tend to show you. I mean, obviously you can add these up and add the total internal fuel weight to the total payload weight, but still it would be nice if there was a way to do that in the game. It would be nice to have a calculation done for you. So yeah, we would need that done. We're going to go back to the flight plan stuff. Usually I'm coming in prepared, guys. I do prepare for streams, but this time's a little bit different just because the things did pop up, but it's still fun to do it. So in November 045 Sierra Bravo. November Sierra Bravo. Not 45. We have got a LYBV approach, but we don't need anyone today, I don't think, for departure, so we're going to tune in the Yukon instead. We are far apparently, although we could have flown, probably could have flown this VFR. It's one of those days. It's a nice little airport, it's grass strip, there we go, we're all ready. We're going to put the standby on the radar. We should really test it first. We're clear of all traffic and people. Obviously the radar will be in the cone nose of the aircraft. There we go, back to standby, and we're going to do the run up at the runway. We're going to get taxi now, so taxi lights on. We should get the Q&A, so it is pretty busy I guess, so we're going to be avoiding all this traffic and heading north. Runway 29, we'll have to backtrack runway 29 Novi Pezova. QNH is 1013, so that's pretty easy to remember. Standard QNH. As you can see, we're flying in cold weather. It's really, really low QNH and pressure now. We're getting into winter. It's lovely. Like that first flight in the snow of St. Petersburg the other day, I just absolutely loved it. I hope we're going to be doing more snow flights soon as well, especially in the UK, because we don't tend to get snow here as much anymore. Parking brake should be released. Oh, it had a key assigned to it. We're overheating our engines, although we are now above 24 Celsius. So let's figure out where we are on the ground. As you can see, there's not really any guidance here for taxiing. I'm assuming that we could taxi down that bit there, but that's the road. So yeah, wherever these little orange cones are, straight across the road, and then to the runway. Let's get our strobe lights on for taxiing onto the active. LYBV tower, we have got an LYBV to ATIS, but I don't think we contact them for clearance. Holy moly. It's lovely, this little place though. I like these little off-grid airports. They're really quite a lot of fun to fly into. Novi Pezova. We should be on the Honeycomb. Novi Pezova traffic, November 045. It's November 058 Sierra Bravo, backtracking runway 29. That's what happens when you use too many call signs, guys. you end up yeah, you fly too many call signs, too many aircraft, and it just all becomes one. We're going to stick our weather radar on. It's looking pretty clear. I'm hoping to get there before dark. It is actually quite a short sector compared to the ones we've been doing in this Balkan adventure. We'll keep the tight sights on. We're clear to increase our throttle. We're going to do a slight run up at the end, and then we'll get going. wonder if we could taxi this side here. It's kind of like a taxiway. It's slightly off the runway. Yeah, it's still part of it. We can do that. Oh wow, look at this. We're right into the fields. Imagine taking off a landing here. You could just see a bunch of cows there. And it is pretty warm. It's about 10 degrees here, so it's doing well. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 hour GMT time. Voltage and bus volts, alternator loads looking good. Switch this to GPS guidance. We will activate the autopilot when we get higher up. We're going straight up to 9,000 feet. Yes, I think my rudder needs calibrating. It's even with it centered on the Thrustmaster, it's a little bit hard to find when it's centered, but when it is, it's having a tendency to drift off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of tuning. So there's the wind. I just realised we're going to be taking off in the wrong direction to the wind, but it has given us runway 29 for departure. I suspect it might actually be the other way around, based on what's on the other end. Anyway, this is perfectly fine for the Baron. Let's turn around here. Make sure we're actually on the runway. There we go. So yes, I think maybe the thing is a little bit off. We should probably be taking off into the wind and facing away from you know, the little bit up there, the terrain. It doesn't make sense to go the other way. Right, let me calibrate these T-Rudder pedals a second. As you can see, I don't know if this is something that's a product issue or if it's just something that naturally happens, but when it's centered, it does, in some aircraft, cause it to drift. Let's try that. Bit of a pain if I had to center it every time and calibrate it every time it's in a new aircraft, wouldn't it? Loving them though, very good product. Anyway, let's do a run up, so we're going to bring it to 1500. Engines are already warm enough by now. And we're going to check the volts. Yeah, it's looking good. Quick propeller firmware, about 300 RPM. A little bit difficult to get it on the 1500 unless you pull it right back, and then you end up feathering it too much. Something like that is probably acceptable. Let's just check the alternators. As you can see, it rise on the right, rise on the left, as each one compensates for the loss of the other. 1700 RPM is where we check the RPM magnetos. So we do a drop on each side, to the left and right. First to the left, check for that drop. There is I think a 50 RPM limit maximum difference. But usually on the Baron there's never a 50 RPM difference. That is pretty good. And we're going to do it on the same on the other side. I haven't actually... What I should do on this Baron really is I should tune the Bravo quadrant, excuse me, the Alpha, to have, as you can see, I'm only doing it for engine 1, but I should be doing it for both. Then again, I didn't do it for both because it's making it more realistic if you do it one at a time. But I suppose you can do it both at a time if you want to. Pitot check, fuel boost pump check. It's below 32. I'm going to leave the fuel pumps on today. Let's just check those flaps and get up to 2200. As you can see, I only need a small drop there of 200 RPM. I usually go down to 1900, I suppose. The check requires 200, but you can do as much as you want. Brilliant. Symmetrical deployment. No dead running issues I can hear. Flight control check. Ailerons have been checked on either side. Just going to do it again in the elevator. Just going to warm them up. Warm the cables up. Electric trim function is good to keep it in the green zone for takeoff. Your damper is functional, we'll leave it off until we're in the air. Everything else is looking good. So we're going to bring the flaps back up to approach mode and I'm going to get going. Can we arm navigation? No, we can't. So when we're in GA mode, we can't arm it. Nova. I'm never going to forget this airport now, I've said it. Nova Pazova. I know we're going to come back here, it's just I really wish they had Novi Sad programmed in here somewhere. It's, I guess, then maybe they didn't see the purpose because it was such a small airport, or maybe, like I say, there's issues there, but as far as I'm aware, the airport's still functional. It's just not available. And now we got LYBV Centre. Hang on, we're just about to take off and we've got some Centre available. It's maybe with us on our side of things. So Serbia is actually all covered at the moment. And LYB as well. We're about to depart. We may as well contact Centre 123775. Let's go ahead and do this. We're not really in a rush. We have some extra fuel available. Damn it, that means we're going to have to just pause the departure a second and get our departure clearance. Right, this could be a pain, guys, so let me get the ATIS information. We just literally got here and they've come online, so it'd be unfair, I think, to depart if we can get the clearance before we go. 025. I don't think anything's working, I can't hear anything. Yeah, there's nothing coming through on the ATIS. Completely dead on that side of things. Let's get that in altitude. I have no idea what the ATIS information is. It covers the LYBV, not our airport, so I guess that's fair.
Hello, Belgrade, Ryanair.
There we go.
312, passing flight level 280, direct inload.
Oh, look at this. We got a turboprop.
Squawk 0775.
We're gonna have to do this. We haven't got ATIS.
Squawk 0775, Ryanair 8312.
Ooh, someone else trying to tune in there at the same time. Hope the stream is live, guys. I hope I'm not streaming to myself again. Should be live. Yeah, we don't know what the information ATIS is.
8312, identified. Proceed direct to Nil Cook line, flight level 340.
Let's just depart and just... It'll probably give us a departure frequency in the air and a code and things. Let's do that. Let's get going. Otherwise, we won't know what the information is anyway, so we need to get in the air. Let's get going. We're up to 9,000 feet. For some reason, the parking brakes.
Serbia 718, contact Belgrade radar on 133.1, goodbye. Belgrade on 133.1, Serbia 718, keep away. 390.
Drifting a lot.
Corsair 907, the Warden Belgrade radar, set scope 0636.
Airbound, positive right, gear up.
Corsair 907, squawk 0636.
Let's follow the course, navigation.
Negative 0636.
ATC's having some issues there. 1,000 feet, landing lights are coming off.
907, correct, identified, break, Ryanair 8312, continue climb flight level 380.
Your damper's coming on.
Continue climb level 320, Ryanair 8312.
Cow flaps closed. Now going to climb on the route to Hungary. Thank goodness the airspace came online. Excuse me. Let's get some ATC now in the air. I felt uncomfortable on the ground just because we didn't have any information to give him other than ready for departure and our waypoints, but we're doing now. So we'll give him our en route to Tonda. 9,000 feet. November 058 Sierra Bravo with you 2,200 feet, climbing 9,000 feet, direct to Tonda.
November 058 Sierra Bravo, wrong frequency, you should be with 133.1.
133.1, thank you very much, November Sierra Bravo. Right, that'd be why, guys, wrong frequency. I wondered why he hadn't contacted me. We want the LYBV approach.
November 07, why are you descending?
Pretty sure he covers the centre of Belgrade, though.
Negative for your direction of flight, need to be either 370 or...
Yeah, strange. I think he's the one who we're meant to talk to, but he probably passes off to him in a minute. Let's try it on the approach. I'm never, excuse me, I'm never keen on contacting approach. Anyway, flaps are coming up. We left them out a little bit longer. We're climbing nice and smooth. We've got really, really light winds today, so it's going to be an enjoyable flight. We've got 13, 15 knot tailwind. November 058 Sierra Bravo, climbing 9,000 feet, passing through 4,000 direct to Tondo.
November 058 Sierra Bravo, hello, Belgrade radar set squawk 5246.
Set squawk 5246, November 8 Sierra Bravo. We're actually very close to the squawk code he gave us. We're already squawking there, so let's go ahead and put 5246 in.
November 085 Sierra Bravo identified flight, continue direct to Tondo, reporting requested flight level.
Continue climbing, we are climbing flight level 090 Sierra Bravo.
5 Sierra Bravo, roger, climb 9,000 feet, QNH Belgrade 1012.
Continue climbing 9,000 feet, QNH 1012, November 58 Sierra Bravo.
Apologies, QNH Patelnica 1013.
1013 on the QNH, November Sierra Bravo.
71 Yankee, descend to 4,000 feet to reach my Bravo Echo 104, QNH 1012.
This is nice, there's hand flying this over Serbia.
Yankee descending 4,000 feet, QNH 1013, and we are level at Bravo Echo 104.
Extremely well trimmed at the moment.
1012, Serbia Yankee.
It's such a beautiful plane to fly.
Serbia 26 Lima, passing 2,000 feet. Serbia 26 Lima, November Belgrade identified, flight level 200 under Piston. Climbing flight level 200 under Sigma, there, Serbia 26 Lima. Serbia 26 Lima, passing 3,000 feet direct to weather. Passing 3,000 feet direct to weather, Serbia 26 Lima.
I think being fully loaded definitely makes the aerodynamics a lot easier to control. It feels like the lift is easier to attain. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the weight is more distributed into the centre of the cabin over the wings. That's why when it's empty it's more nose heavy, I guess, just with the pilot in it. Look at that. Wow. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nothing is beating X-Plane 12's weather system, and nothing is beating X-Plane 12's flight physics so far. Microsoft is good, I'm sure it is, but my experience was not fantastic on the flight physics front. Anyway, brilliant view ahead, guys, so lock in. Strap in or unstrap, now we're to the safe altitude. Climbing like an absolute beast, already at 7,500 feet. I'm literally flying hands off. I've got no hands on controls. That's how stable this aircraft is. That's incredible. I'm not putting any input at all, and that crosswind is not affecting it. Right, 1,000 feet to go. We're going to slow our ascent rate. We are above 6,500, which means we will probably need 16.5 gallons of fuel per hour. So slight inputs here because we're a little bit higher up. The turbulence will be building up and the air may be a little bit more rough. Let's go ahead and activate the autopilot and we'll continue climbing on vertical speed. So he's well trimmed, but it ended up pitching up anyway. We maintain 2500 RPM with 16.5 gallons of fuel. We maintain full manifold pressure. Windshield and prop and stall warning heater coming along with Tito heats. We are on standard pressure, but we're going to press it anyway to set it perfectly on there. 9,000 feet. Wow, I mean look at how fast that was, guys. We only departed from there. That's all hand flown, and I did a damn good job of that. Well, that's how quick it was. That's less than, what's that? We didn't time it by, say, less than 5 minutes.
So, after Bravo Echo 104, left next. After Bravo Echo 104, direct left SBS Honeycomb.
Yes, I suspect that Novi Sad might actually be here, guys. That might be what we're seeing down there. So they seem to have modelled the place and the city. And the airfield was just on the just like, not even on the outskirts really, but quite in the centre of it. Hey, look at that, solid walls, guys. Laminar Research makes some fantastic planes. They really do. As you can see, directed onto our original waypoint. And then LHPR, now alternate today's LHPP, which is Friends International Airport, Budapest.
Serbia 216, one to Honeycomb. Ciao, please connect. Honeycomb and Serbia 216, ciao. Yankee, we have declared ILS 1 to left, report established. We have declared ILS 1 to left, will go Serbia 7 Yankee.
Over to Unicom 1228, November Sierra Bravo, thanks very much. Okay guys, we're off to Unicom 122.8. Good to have ATC. The Serbia and Romania seem to have ATC quite a lot. I thought they didn't have them in the past, but actually they have them a lot more than I realised. We're also in IFR conditions now, which is absolutely fine. We need to get our strobes off in the clouds. And of course Peter Heat is on as well. We're at 9,000 feet. We're cleared off the Unicom, but I don't think we're cleared to change altitude. I'm just checking the airspace. We are about to leave Serbia and then we'll be passing into Hungary. As you can see, Hungary has considerably more airfields available. I'm still flabbergasted as to why they wouldn't put Novi Sad in there. I will update the stream description to match the airport's departure, and then that way no one will be a bit too confused, will they? It's still classed as Novi Sad, I think, but just a different part of it. Slightly south, I think. More towards Belgrade, if I'm honest. In the centre. Okay, YouTube description is updated. The estimated flight time is 1 hour 15 minutes. However, we're probably going to make it quicker than that. The stream's going to be a little bit short today. I am planning to do a review tonight of a new aircraft, so that's probably why I'm only doing this one short, and then that one tonight at 6 PM GMT time, and that'll be probably for a few hours. It may even be 2 or 3 hours because it's going to be taking quite a while to get through the review and flight planning, the checklist and things, and I want to make sure I give it a fair review. It's the Gulfstream VOR 550 as well, so I think there's a pretty cool aircraft to get reviewed and get out of the way. It's a little bit loud in the cockpit still. Turn down the sound on YouTube, and it doesn't help. It's like minus 23 decibels before it goes into the green. Right, clear clouds, strobes back on for the time being. Weather's looked good so far, we haven't come across anything. Okay, there's a little bit of something there, but maybe we zoomed in a bit too much. But in general though, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 miles are all clear. Okay, from Tondo, our next waypoint is 114 miles. Blimey. There's me think it's going to be a quick flight, and we've still got 100 miles to go. Okay, guys, I'm going to sit back, relax. I don't think AT will come online. It was surprising that Serbia Center wasn't dealing with the aircraft, and it was just the approach and departure, etc. Very cool, very cool. Currently contending with a 25-26 knot crosswind there, so that's going to impact us considerably. Let's just double check our flight plan. For some reason when we filed it, it's coming up with different waypoints. I suspect because the airports are not recognised by both X-Plane and SimBrief. can just about see the destination ahead of us. Just off in the distance on the map, and obviously over here we have Budapest, Friends Airport. Or it's spelt Ferenc here, but I think it's pronounced Friends Airport. Looking nice and busy though. We got a little bit of an odd thing going on here with the map. It's a straight line going straight across. I don't know what that would be. But anyway, it must be because we've reached the top of the square of that area. But the airport LHPR is there, Gyor-Per. We also have Papa Pod. I have no idea. Papa, whatever that is, Parduk. Whatever these names are, guys. Let's tune navigation 2 in so we can get that in. We could actually just use that for navigation from this point on. We do also have a nice small runway there, but that is well tight. That's really small. The Baron cannot handle that kind of a runway. Here, though, perfectly fine. It looks like we're going to be landing runway probably 29 or 11. I don't think it matters because the crosswind is coming in from the west-southwest. Yeah, so we might even be able to make straight in for runway 29. I don't think anyone else will be there. This one would probably be a runway that's a grass runway, so we want the concretes, of course. Anyway, we've got navigational aid now, which is good. We haven't got any NDBs, which is alright. Again, not the worst. What I'm going to do, guys, we could in fact just follow that now. We don't even have to follow the GPS. So I've noticed that people can become confused when they get lost, things don't work, and like, well, the autopilot doesn't work, you know, it doesn't follow the flight plan, but actually you don't really need the autopilot and the flight plan to fly a flight, obviously. They came secondary to aircraft manufacturing design, yeah, they weren't the forefront of pilots' minds back in the 80s, let's put it that way. So if we look down here, the easiest way to do it is tune my advice. If you can't get the GPS to work and you can't get the autopilot to follow the GPS route, is to find the airport destination you need and to tune the VOR DME in to navigation 1 or navigation 2. In this case it's navigation 2, so it's going to appear down here, and then what you do, guys, you can see it's got TO and a free FR, that means to and from, so we're heading to the airport. If we were going from it, we turn it till the arrow points to the south, and then we turn it until the line that is in the centre, and that gives you the current heading you need to fly in order to reach that DME. It seems like it would be a lot easier to do that than to struggle to find where you need to go. And then when you get near the airport, use your charts to get the ILS frequency if there's one available, or if any other frequency available, and just use this navigational equipment because it is there to help you guys. And it always worries me that people will struggle with these things and not ask for help and not understand how to use them. It's very, very basic, as I say. You can even tune into this one if you really want to, but this is more for the glide slope and the ILS. You can see the glide slope flags have popped up. So yeah, if we'll follow that, and if we want to choose that one, we simply select navigation and it'll just continue following the arrow. So we'll do that, and this will prove to people that you can in fact fly a flight without it. If you guys go back and watch my Piper PA28R Arrow 3 review and test flight, you will see that we did nothing but DME navigation with some NDB as well. So yeah, it's just exactly on the same route because it's following that DME now. We'll leave the strobes off. We're not quite in cloud, but we're in that sort of area where we're going to be entering it. Low visibility. We'll keep the nav lights on. look at this. We're flying over some red stuff. Very cool. looks like we're flying over a volcano or something. It's just the light though, guys. It's going dark so early. It's 3 o'clock GMT, but 1 hour ahead in Hungary, I believe. So as you can see, it's only 4 o'clock and it's already going dark. Brilliant. Anyway, we got 15. It's saying 10 minutes there, so we may as well start descent now to get prepared, because it looks like it's going to be a straight in to runway 29er. Yeah, and we're following the DME, so it should give us a good approach. I'm going to switch over to the heading mode shortly anyway, because we're within the range to, as you can see, you can actually use the HSI. I didn't even realise that. Let me just check. I'm actually tuned in on the secondary, aren't I? 115 on the VOR VLOC 1, and then where's VOR 2? I think it's down here. There's 115.1, so yeah, interesting. I didn't even realise you could change it like that. That's so cool. So the Honeycomb, they've definitely improved this in the updates. The Honeycomb will now, when you adjust the course button on it, will now not only change the HSI, but it will change the course, unless it's always done that. I think it probably always has done that. But that's pretty cool, as you can see, so it controls both of them at once. I'm pretty sure it was only the HSI it controlled before, but now it's controlling the actual navigation thing as well, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to keep this heading for now until we get there. We may be let's go heading mode. I'm going to descend down to, let's say, 4,000 feet. I'm going to use the chart for this one. Let's go chart, airport, Gyor-Per 1006. Can't see what QNH got. Standard pressures at 1006 on the backup. Don't need to change the other one just yet. I'm just getting a rough idea of what our altitude is, and I don't think there'll be an arrival. No arrivals, but they have got an approach, and it's raining now. Brilliant. RNP or a VOR, so we're already tuned into the VOR. This might be interesting to do a VOR approach. We can always do a visual. We are IFR flight, but we're, you know, permitted to fly from IFR to VFR and VFR to IFR. Anyway, 2,100 feet and a heading of 294. That's fine, we can do that. Coming in 294 to the runway. If we need to go around, missed approach is maximum of 200, which is capable in the Baron. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. We're tuned into the VOR DME. I'm actually going to tune that into the primary one instead. So we want to tune that into 115.1. There we go, and then we'll have it on the primary as well as the secondary. In fact, we can clear that. If we clear that off there, will it still affect the HSI? Yes, we're on heading mode anyway. Let's go to navigation, and yeah, so as you can see, it's now not affecting that second one. It is affecting it in turn, but it's not affecting the arrow's direction, which is good. So we'll continue this present heading on the VOR DME approach. There's not much else to see there. We can do this in the speed limits and the restrictions. It is giving us 4,500 if we're coming in that direction. We're coming here, so we'll go down to 2,100 feet. Go around again a figure of 8. So we'll come. I feel like we can skip this part of the leg because we're coming in from the south. So anyway, figure of 8 and then back onto that. Let's tune the approach in now before we get there. So procedures, approach. It's coming up with the RNAV, VOR DME as well. Let's just look at that chart again. So where do we need to be? Gyor, IAF is probably down here. FAF, I don't think we need any transitions. Let's go for vectors. So yeah, that's come up with it. Brilliant. I'm going to just choose heading mode. It's a little bit easier to understand at this point. So let's do a turn. Should we follow in the heading mode? We've got the autopilot on. How odd. Okay, I'm turning the wrong thing. Bloody hell, Grantham. I've been doing this for a while now, and the channel's not really growing as much as I thought. But then again, it's some things go terribly wrong, don't they? Anyway, 294, so 29, so that's 27, 28, 29. And that's 295, 294. I'm going to just activate the approach now. So to go down here, you can just click direct to the approach and that'll activate it. As you can, actually, it's going to take us direct to final, so that's ideal. Navigation time, I'm going to descend down to 2,100 feet. Brilliant. I'll leave the mixtures where they are now, and we'll just feather the props. We'll use the autopilot for the descent. I think the recommended speed is like 170. Probably don't even have to feather them all the way. Anyway, icing is still probably present. We've got a lot of cloud in the area. As you can see there, that build up also quite worrying. We have strong crosswinds, 31 knots. Let's check the surface winds. So we could use the 8 information as well. So it's 1208 knots. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Alright guys, I'm going to bring those right back now, 1500. I'm actually going to reduce increase the mixtures now to full rich. We're inbound, we've got the 8's information. I'm going to tune off of Q&H standard. I'm going to go down to 1006. We have 2 minutes. We're going to have to reduce that manifold pressure down. Now the Barons are really stable aircraft, so you can reduce the manifold. You shouldn't really keep your CHT below 150 for too long, but you can reduce it right down if you want to, and it will actually maintain a pretty good rate of descent. But we're going to have to keep it high in order to maintain the CHT above 150. Just check the ground map, make sure there's no terrain. It is coming up with yellow on the right, yellowish. Looking at the X-Plane 12 map though, it looks pretty fine. It's just cloudy. Actually, we could be probably better off doing the whole approach. Is that going to take us to final? I think that is going to take us to final, isn't it? Blimey. Look at that, guys. Absolutely rough as hell up there. Right, we're really struggling now. I'm just going to do props full forward. CHT is really cold. We really don't want a nice build up down there. That's the cylinder head temperature, by the way. Fuel pumps, for some reason, I've left them on the whole time. You probably don't even need them on. That's my mistake. I'm going to leave the head in there where it is, so we're kind of pointing in the runway direction. We're almost on final. Let's just do a surface de-ice on that. 2,000 feet a minute. We can do it. One notch of flaps. Speed will drop rapidly now, as you can tell. It's dropping rapidly in the 30 knot winds. We're on final. Runway 29. Now hopefully we can do this and we're not going to crash. So I'm really doing this silly, guys. This is not the best way to do this, and it's also awful conditions. Let's get the landing lights and taxi lights on. Yeah, the arrow's not even pointed in the right direction. Should be on the heading of 294 here for final. Right, we can see land. There's the runway. Brilliant. It's actually worked out quite well. Your damper's coming off. Tito, he's coming off. Full flaps. Gyor-Per traffic, November 058, Sierra Bravo, final runway 29er. Well, them winds, guys, they're super strong. Super strong. We're down at least. Can we apply some brakes without skidding all over the place though? Looks like we can. It was quite a smooth touchdown, not on the centre line, quite on the centre line, but still pretty good. Right, landing lights off. We didn't have our strobes on, for some reason we stopped. For some reason our parking brake is on, I have no idea why, guys. I hope I didn't just do it with my pedals. Anyway, let's taxi to parking now. Missed it. Let's do backtrack runway 29er. Yeah, pretty good. I was a bit concerned at the end there we were going to skid because of the rudder, but the rudder, you really have got to put the minimum amount of control in. It really requires a really light touch on the control. So anyway, open them, and I think we can put them on crossfeed now for the taxi. It's not really useful if we're going to do the last flight of the day, but you know, if someone else is coming in the aircraft, it's always good to do it. We're going to put the transponder on standby when we clear the runway. Yeah, so that's it. That's the VOR DME approach into Gyor-Per. Pronunciation may be right or wrong, so we'll see. We'll see afterwards if anybody wants to correct it. Weather radar, we didn't need it much during that flight. Yeah, rough weather, guys, rough weather. It turned out to be a lot stronger than I thought it was, so it's given 8 or 9 knots, but there was definitely gusts there at the end. Okay, transponder to standby. Should probably squawk mode Charlie really, so standby's, you know, you can put it on standby, but I think mode Charlie's more appropriate if you're on the network. We are going to be watching that replay and we're going to be celebrating such a successful flight. This is more of a GA airport. I suspect it's probably suitable for small jets as well. I mean, small jets and business jets really are classed as general aviation anyway, aren't they? You don't see many commercial airliners, commercial flights on general aviation private jets, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go right to the end here. Let's get a decent space there next to the tower. Just like they've got a little bit of scenery there, some trees and bushes. Number 6, number 3, 5. Numbers are really, really strange on this one. Let's go number 2. Brilliant. With GA aircraft today, so I don't think we have to worry too much about parking. Nav and taxi lights coming off. We're going to cut the fuel off. Turn the switches off. We should really have, again, the avionics. I forgot the avionics, guys. Always have them off before you turn the engines off. Magnetos, the propeller, the windshield. For some reason we're de-ice. We don't need to de-ice. Paddle lights. You're supposed to leave the prop sync on. I've mentioned it before. And the beacon. But yeah, it's entirely up to you whether you turn it off. And that's it, guys. And then alternator and batteries. Just leave the props fully forward. I guess if he's going to do the last flight of the day, you could turn the beacon and the prop sync off. And you could probably put the props back into the back position. And then tie down the aircraft for the night. So let's do that. Let's take the chocks on. We have got the parking brake set. Oh, well, a very successful flight to Gyor-Per. We're going to watch the replay. I've had some issues with the replay. It's for some reason the game capture won't display Explain 12 when I'm clicking on replay. So I don't know why I can't have Explain 12. It's so strange. Anyway, give me a sec, guys. I'm going to add the music because I want to have the music playing at the same time, and hopefully it works. Right, so I should transition it now. It may be playing the music. Let's just mute the music. It's not as intuitive as Prism Live. I'm not going to lie, I did prefer Prism Live. It had much easier software to navigate, and it had a lot more features available. Right, that is the replay music. So let's click replay, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Grant from CVT. I will be streaming later on the evening to do a review of the Gulfstream 550. It's actually a pretty good aircraft, so join me then. Until then, take care. All the best. Bye.